what's going on with corporate buyers and all of the buyers that are buying up these properties, getting rental properties all over the United States. We're going to talk about it today, and we're going to look at a lot of different opinions, the good, the bad, and the ugly, about what's going on with the housing market right now. I think you're going to find this to be very helpful, most importantly, informative for you, so you have the right languaging to use when you're meeting with prospective buyers and sellers. So that's going to be our topic for the day today. Make sure you do check in the chat. Let me know the city and state that you sell real estate. We do tons of referrals, agent to agent. So if you are looking to refer business to someone, you'll probably find them in one of our chats here. But make sure you check in with your city and state. Welcome to today's morning meeting. I'm Greg Luther, the one guy that meets with you every single week to help you in growing your business. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about why corporate buyers are so annoying. Well, it's going to be annoying one way or the other. Either you like them or you hate them. And we're going to talk a little bit about why that is. And I want to ask before we get started, I'd really like your opinion on this. If you are a licensed real estate agent, what do you think about corporate buyers? Now, there's obviously different levels of corporate buyers as well, but let me know your thoughts right here in the comments. I want you to let me know your thoughts about corporate buyers buying up properties to turn them into rental properties, essentially, and maybe even having big portfolios of them. Do you think it's good or bad for the industry? Do you think it's good for the real estate market, or do you think it's bad for the real estate market? We're going to walk through this process today. So again, you can have an educated conversation with any prospect you're dealing with, people that think this is good, think this is bad, whatever the case is, you'll be able to show both sides. Now, I don't really have an opinion one way or the other. I kind of do, but I'd like to kind of get a good conversation going on this as to why it's happening, how it's happening, and again, show both sides. So I want to kind of show you an unbiased position on what's going on with this. So, you'll see really both sides of the coin is essentially what we're going to do here. And more importantly, talking points you can use. So I want to know your opinion. What do you think about corporate buyers buying up properties? So a couple of things that we want to talk about. First of all, what is a corporate buyer? That's a big term that a lot of people use, meaning basically businesses, not mom and pop. Well, the fact is, a mom and pop rental agency, if they have 2 or more homes, they probably have a corporation. They probably have an LLC of some sort. They put they don't want somebody to fall and break their leg and sue them for everything they have. So they put everything into an LLC. So you got to be real careful when you're saying a corporate buyer or a company buyer or a professional renting company. It might just be somebody that has 2 or 3 homes in their portfolio. Now, that can go all the way up to those that have tens of thousands of homes. Okay. Number 2, is it good or bad for the industry in America? So let me give you kind of both sides of the equation. I hear a lot of people saying, well, they're buying up everything and that's making home ownership unaffordable and that's allowing them to set the rents and they're raising rents and now rents are unaffordable, which by the way, everything and celery is unaffordable right now. Apples are unaffordable. Taco Bell has $7.50 chalupas. So everything is unaffordable. And by the way, big corporate buyers aren't buying those. That's not what's happening right now. I just got literally today with some of my racehorses, some of the vitamins that I get, I had to have my old pricing schedule. I put old at the top right there. And the new one, you know what they said? We had to raise our prices 15% across the board because the labor laws were changed in our area. Like, it's getting filtered down. You can keep saying we need to pay people more money and people deserve to make more. That means you're going to pay a lot more for the product. That's how this works. That happened literally today, by the way. But the reason I say that is there's definitely good and bad. I'll give you an example. It's very common for home buyers and home sellers to comment online and say, it's all these corporate buyers that are buying everything up and setting the rents, and we need to get rid of the corporate buyers. You should not be able to buy all these homes. Okay. Let's just say it's illegal for you to own more than one rental house. Let's say corporate buyers don't buy up 100 homes in an area, 100 homes from homeowners that they're now turning into a rental property. Let's say that became illegal. How much do you think rent's going to cost now? How hard is it going to be to find rentals if they aren't creating rentals? If they aren't taking the previously owner-occupied and turning them into rentals? We already know it's supply and demand. So if you say those 100 homes that they own, they have to sell them to owner occupants as an example. Now there's 100 less rentals available, which means rent prices are going to go up, including the mom and pop that owns the thing. They know if the guy down the street's 2,800, we can be 2,800. If he goes to 3,000, we can be to 3,000. The more rentals that are available, the lower the price is going to be. So that's one side of the equation. Now, the other side of the equation is, you know, that you've had traditional home buyers that want to live in that home and take care of it and make really nice landscaping and improve the value of the home and all that. They get beat out on price, on purchase price, by the corporate buyers, right? So they're paying more for the home. So in reality, it's good for the sellers. They can sell their home for more money, but it's the corporate buyer or the cash investor that's buying that property and turning it into a rental house. See, a lot of people make the mistake of thinking an investor won't pay much for the house. An investor is paying more than a traditional buyer will. That's how they're beating everybody out. So there's two sides of the equation. Like if you're a seller, you love corporate buyers because you love even one more bidder. You love more buyers to be in the market because if one more person is writing an offer, that's going to make them fight for the home and bring your price up. But when it comes to the rental side, you probably shouldn't think that if somebody owns 50 homes in a city, if they own 50 homes at a major metroplex, you shouldn't think that they're controlling the market by any means. They actually brought in another 50 homes, which means it's going to be easier for rental people, rental folks, tenants to get a property. If those go away, if it somehow became illegal, which it never will, but if it somehow became illegal, now instead of 100 homes available, there's only 50 homes available. Guess what happens? It's supply and demand. So there are positives and negatives to both. And I'd like your opinion on this, by the way. Let me know your thoughts on this. Here, do you agree that it's definitely good for the sellers? Because a home seller, every single buyer that's an additional buyer is going to bring the price up. If I'm auctioning off a horse as an example, I'm a lot better off if I can get two people interested in it, because that other guy that's bidding is going to at least bring this guy to his top number. I'm going to get to his top number, or he's going to beat it by $100. But one way or the other, that brings it way up. If there's only one person interested, it's going to stay way down. Well, the same is true in the rental market. So I want you to really kind of think about that and think about, if we stopped corporate buyers, nobody's going to be able to rent. They're just not. And they don't have the income right now to be able to purchase. They're nowhere near being able to purchase. If home prices go down 50 grand, they're not going to be able to purchase a lot of these tenants, right? Percentage-wise. So I want you to think about this, and I really think that we as real estate agents need to have an open conversation about this instead of, how it is now. Oh, it's their fault. It's this political party. It's this interest rate. It's the feds. We all want to do the blame game thing. Let's look as real estate agents, not blaming anyone, and just look that there are positives and negatives to both sides of this. And let's make sure that we can speak knowledgeably about this to anybody that's interested in it. So if they're going to continue buying properties, which I think they will, and by the way, homes are at all-time high prices and everything else, I think they're going to keep buying. If that's the case, it's what we're going to have to deal with. But I'm curious about your thoughts on this. You're a real estate agent in your area. You see what's going on, and a lot of stuff you don't see because behind the scenes, they're buying homes. I don't know if you guys remember in 2008, 2009, Blackstone was knocking on doors. They were paying people to knock on doors and say, we'll buy it at appraised value. There's no realtor commissions. You can choose any appraiser you want, and we'll just give you a check for that amount with no commissions. So there were a whole lot of transactions that were going outside of the MLS. They were buying up these properties. So you don't see a lot of this in the MLS. Realtors are being cut out of a lot of that. And now that we're getting all these changes that are starting to happen, I'm going to be covering over the next couple of morning meetings how we're navigating this and what you need to be doing as a real estate agent. Very important for you to be following the channel. But there's going to be buyers, corporate buyers, traditional buyers, and even sellers are finding ways to navigate, because now it's just come to a head when it comes to commissions or who earns what and doing the a la carte stuff and all of that. It's really changing the face of real estate.